It's showtime.
Breaking news from the BS and Beer News Desk.
Welcome in to another edition of the Beer Chaser. I am your host, Dale. With me is the great one, Tomas. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Doing great. How about you, sir?
Oh, good, man. This is an actual Beer Chaser after a Saints win. These
Woo-hoo!
were unusual. Um, the Saints break out the victory with
Yes,
23-13 over the Bucks. Give me your overall thoughts here.
Well, I believe this is the team we were looking for all season long. Great use of the tight end, although I guess Jimmy Graham is home drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Or maybe smoking some weed. I mean, I don't know. Whatever his choice is. Maybe boiling some shrooms or I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
But we missed seeing him on the field. But yeah, this is the kind of team we thought we might have. There was some good play calling, I thought, in today's game. Hopefully, I hate this team.
Shout out to Bobby.
All right, Bobby.
He hates the team. They have him all excited and probably throw up a goose egg against Atlanta next week.
Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad we have such positive people listening to our beer chaser. You know, I mean, come on now. I know I'm Mr. Optimism, you know, but come on, you know. I don't think it'll be a goose egg, but I believe the Chicago beat Atlanta today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they sure did.
They sure did. So I don't think we have a goose egg up, but that's okay. You know, I'm hopeful that Alvin is just a little banged up with that ankle. Hope it won't be too bad. And you know, we'll see. Of course, you know, I don't know who do we have backing up Williams if Kamara can't go.
Taysom.
Taysom is about it. Hey, your mic's got static in it.
Oh, I don't think I can do anything about that.
Might be a bad connection. Oh, now I have nothing. Oh, I guess I'm doing the show by myself. Wow, okay. You see, little dice. Hey, man, you know, Dale, come on. There you go. Now I hear you. All right. Yeah, well, I think overall, good game. You know, I hate playing prevent though. You know, I just really hate playing prevent.
But it almost came back to bite us later.
13 points at the end that they shouldn't have scored.
Right. Exactly.
And you know that I got the trivia answer for the question, right?
Okay.
I was the only person that remembered who that clown was. The wide receiver.
Oh, Trey Palmer, you talking about? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Chicago beat Atlanta 37-17. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but Bobby's still negative. He still thinks, you know, we're going to zippity do and da.
Well, we had all three phases to play together today, and it was nice. So
yes, I agree. It was very, very good. Yeah, very good.
I agree with you.
That's how you win games, when you have all three, you know, doing their job. So
Yep. Pretty nice.
And we could win even more if these damn referees would occasionally just call a holding on Granderson, you know, the guy playing Granderson.
Right.
I mean, the entire game, you know, the tackle for Atlanta was just mauling Granderson. And I was like, good God Almighty. But all right, well, let's get to it. I'm ready to get to it.
Okay, let's start.
I don't have my shot of bourbon in front of me. I forgot that I left it out there. Damn it.
Yeah,
okay.
What did you drink today for the game?
Today, so far, just wine.
Okay.
Just wine. Gotcha. But, you know, I'm open to tomorrow, New Year's Day. I can already tell you, I have a lovely Romeo and Julieta. That's a cigar for those people who don't know, with my name on it.
Okay.
And I have plenty of Cardenal Mendoza which is a Spanish brandy with my name on it as well.
Mm.
Start the new year off right.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there, Tomas. Okay.
You see, tonight for dinner we have short ribs. I've been cooking all day.
Mm.
Tomorrow we have pork tenderloin, which I'm going to do in my new toy, my sous vide.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That thing's pretty interesting.
You know, a few years back, my best friend is an electrical engineer, and so he made one for me. You know, using like aquarium parts and all kinds of stuff to get it done, right? Because a real one costs a lot of money. But now with technology advancing, I told my wife, I said, you know, for Christmas, I can tell you what I'd like. I said, I'd like one of those sous vide sticks. I mean, it's just a stick. You know, it's all electronic. So tomorrow we break it in, make a nice pork tenderloin.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. With a pork reduction to go on top of it. Oh, yeah.
Should be good.
Good. I'm going to bring in the new year the right way, brother.
Only like Tomas can do it. I feel you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I might actually change my mind. Instead of doing a pork reduction, I might actually use some of that lovely, dark, you know, motor oil that I like to drink. I might actually use some of that.
Make a sauce.
Make a beautiful reduction. Oh, I got some KBS, you know, just sitting on top of the table. So, yeah.
Could be. That's a thought right there. All right. Let's start going through this game.
All right. Let's hit it.
The first drive.
Fantastic.
The Saints opened with a score, and I mean a touchdown. 7-0 touchdown pass to Juwan Johnson happened in the red zone. This was the first time this year that the Saints opened the game with a scoring touchdown.
And it was a good drive. It wasn't just one pass. Yep. It was a good drive. They went down the field, and yes, Juwan Johnson, good catch, sealed the deal there, 7-0.
Yeah. And so this would look like the way the things will be unfolding on offense, like pretty much all day. And so we saw in the second quarter, Alontae Taylor come up with the interception. And this was on a drive where the Saints defense committed several penalties to extend the drive.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes they're ticky-tack kind of stuff. And sometimes, hey, you know, you committed the penalty and you committed the foul, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. I think that Taylor being sat down last week, I think that brought a little reality to him, because I think today he played, you know, 1,000% better than last week. Last week he was getting his butt kicked all over the field. But this week I thought, wow, he's playing a lot better, you know? So maybe, you know, a few of these people need to be sat down and said, hey, don't need you. You know, we'll send you on your way.
So we got to give credit to DA for sitting them down.
Yep.
And motivating them and everything. And then credit to Alontae Taylor for not, you know, just tucking his tail between his legs and just being defeated. Like, he came back and he showed a lot this game. So shout out to him for that.
Yep. No pouting. He just went out and did his job, which is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. There you go. Big third down conversion to Juwan Johnson, deep middle. But the drive ended up in a punt. This is in the second quarter. But still, we're moving the ball, and it's Juwan Johnson.
Well, again, I would say to you, and I haven't looked at the game for a second time. Obviously, we're doing this right after the game. But I'm betting that when I look at it again, I'm going to be really happy with some of the play calling and formations emphasizing the tight end.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no doubt about it that was the idea for this game.
Yeah, they saw something in the defense to make them think they could take advantage of using the tight end.
Yep.
Juwan Johnson had 12 targets on the day, ended up with 8 receptions, 90 yards, 1 touchdown.
And had one acrobatic catch where he just extended, caught the ball, rolled in the air.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, this was a game where the receivers really didn't do much. We got 3 catches from Olave, 2 from Shaheed, 1 from A.T. Perry, 1 from Lynn Bowden.
Yeah.
That's all the wide receiver stats.
Yeah.
Nobody is over, 30 yards.
Now, of course, you still have Taysom, because sometimes he sat outside, so sometimes he was in the slot, sometimes he was outside of the slot. Yeah. So, and I know he's caught a few from out there. The touchdown that he caught, if I'm not mistaken, he was the outside receiver. Mm-hmm. So,
yep. You're right about that touchdown. Yep, I agree with that. Man, but yeah, big plays from the Saints tight ends this week because no wide receivers were really to be found in the offense. So, and speaking of that Taysom touchdown, let's talk about that. Derek Carr throw a fade over to Taysom Hill for that touchdown, make it 14-0. This was over Antoine Winfield. Yes. And this was also a red zone sort of touchdown. So good pass by Carr there. Excellent. And good catch by Taysom.
The placement was good and the catch was good, and then the follow through to make sure we got into the end zone. So that was a win-win no matter which way you looked at it on that particular play. Yeah. And going back to the wide receivers, I think that, and like I said, we'll have to look at the game again. I think that the whole scheme was to use the wide receivers to go deep most of the time or cross the field, allowing the tight ends to have more opportunities. I think if you look at it, because there were a lot of times where A.T. Perry was down the field, Shaheed was down the field. So I think that had something to do with it. So,
yep. Let's see. We got Zach Bond getting a sack, and this was one where he forced a fourth down, like right before halftime. And I thought the Saints pass rush really kind of came alive today.
Well, we actually saw Cam, come in there and do something. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, and the same thing could be said about Pete. We bring in Bond. He's one of those tweener guys, and they try to make him into a linebacker, which he's not. But as soon as this year they put him to say, okay, buddy, your job is go in there and put some pressure on, man, this guy's like, whoa. So,
that's right.
Again, I don't, Pete, let's talk about Pete for a moment here.
Okay.
He looks like a tackle. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that one of our friends says, well, he's got a stocky bottom build. He looks like he'd be a guard. Mm-hmm. Well, he might look like he could be a guard, but since he's over at tackle, in my opinion, he's looked a hell of a lot better than he looked at guard.
So would you extend him out as a left tackle?
I leave him at left tackle.
But I mean, extend his contract.
I would work out a deal with him because I think we need him for one more year. Okay. And I think at left tackle. Mm-hmm. And I think that we draft. I mean, I guess we're not ready to talk about it, but my position on who I think we should draft. Mm-hmm. But we draft the left tackle, bring him in, have him a year, and put Penny over at right. And I think our offensive line will be solid. Yeah. But I'm not Mickey Loomis. Thank God. So who knows? But I believe, and I don't know what you think, but Pete's worked really good this year at left tackle.
Yeah, I'm thinking this may be the most economical way to deal with your left tackle problem, because like I'm not ready to extend him like 5 years.
Oh no.
But as far as like another year with 15 to maybe 20 million for a left tackle, whatever the going rate is for like a normal starting left tackle.
Yeah.
I think Pete has earned that. And instead of trying to, I don't know, rely on a rookie left tackle to come in and start, then you have Pete, coming in instead. So
and if we, which is what I'm hoping, if we reform our offensive coaching, because as we've talked about, Marrone has a reputation of being a really good coach, but
well, he better get out of here, man.
As far as I'm concerned, he's sucked the whole year. Yeah. And I think that really it shows you how effective Strief was last year when he was with us, because this year You know, I mean, and I think giving up on Penning is simply because they don't know how to coach him. You need to have somebody who can coach him. He needs a serious coaching to learn what it is to be a pro at the NFL level.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's got the tools. There's no doubt in my mind that he has the tools.
Yeah, honestly, man, I don't want to see any of these offensive coaches anymore. Like all of them need to go. Honestly, if I'm making a call, that's what I'm doing.
I agree. I think that's why I say I think that I think the Saints keep DA, and they keep obviously Carr is the quarterback for the next couple of years. So we need to do something as far as offensive philosophy.
Yeah.
You know, because DA, and I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I think the jury's still out on whether he's a good head coach or not. So far, he's better than he was at Oakland, but that's not saying much. But I think that the real issue is the coaching staff on the offense. Today was a pretty good game plan, you know, but 1 out of 17 games doesn't float my boat.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, exactly.
So I think that
we
thank Mr. Carmichael for his services, and you know, adios amigos.
Yes, sir.
And send the whole rest of them as well. Bye-bye, Billy Ed. You know, and let's get some people in here, some younger people who are hungry, because I think that's another problem. I think that Marrone is just not hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure. When you see somebody kind of get that, he did end up getting like a coordinator job, right?
No. Oh, you mean before he came to the Saints?
Yeah. I'm sorry. He went to be a head coach, then he got moved down. Yeah. That's right.
He was a offensive line coach, then an offensive coordinator, then a head coach, and then offensive coordinator again, and now he's an offensive line coach.
Yeah.
And so I think he's just not motivated.
Yeah, it's hard to move back down and stay motivated. So I think that's what it is.
I think he could have stayed there if he would have been offensive coordinator. He might still, but you know that's 2 levels down. Go to offensive line, offensive line coach. So I just and you look at the play. I mean, you look at our offensive linemen. You know, how many first rounders do we have?
Yeah,
you know, and a second rounder who really is a first rounder. So I mean, there's no excuse for Carr getting the crap beat out of him, and there's no excuse for not having openings for well, it doesn't mean it. Williams or Kamara or whomever you have running the ball in the backfield.
Yeah, no holes.
There are no holes. You know, and they're keying on Kamara, and so it's really hard to have a running game. You know, so you're not going to tell me that these kids we have playing, or these young men who have playing offensive line, you can't tell me that they're not good athletes. You know, because again, if people can complain. If we wouldn't have drafted him in the first round, somebody else would have. It's not like we were the only people that, oh yeah, we're going to draft this guy in the first round. You know, Penning, man, he had all the press. Everybody wanted to draft him in the first round. You know, Pete, the same thing the year he came out. You know, Ruiz. But see, the thing is, we draft these guys and put them in the wrong place. You know, you're expecting Ruiz to be a guard. He played center his entire life. Really? Okay. Well, like my wife says, then it takes years for the play to come up to the point you need it to.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with my wife. You know, it's like, okay, it's like 3 or 4 years for these kids, and which is what's happened with Ruiz, right?
Yep.
And then same thing with Pete. You move him into guard, and man,
play left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the waste of it. You know, it's like, dude, this guy can play left tackle. Now, granted, we had Armstead, but with all the injuries to Armstead, so I don't know. To me, it just seems that we have so much talent on the offensive line, so much at wide receiver. I mean, AT is going to be a good receiver. Shaheed already is. You know, I'm not counting Michael Thomas anymore. I love Michael Thomas, but I just don't, sorry. But we have quality players on this team. And to me, it's just coaching.
Yep.
So,
well, speaking of coaching, what did you think about the Bucs punter? Like, was he being told not kick the ball, Shaheed, or does he just suck? Because
I
like,
think
he was playing really short punts. Like
I think it might be both, Dale. I think it might be both because I think that they said, "Hey, don't kick it to him because he could bust one."
Yeah.
But when you say that, and the whole season you've been kicking them down to the receivers, right, to the punt catcher,
mm-hmm.
and suddenly tell you don't kick it to him, you're like, okay, I'll kick it to the side.
Mm-hmm.
He shanks it off the side of his foot because he's this was one of the things about Thomas Morstead that was so fantastic, right, and still is, right. When you tell him don't kick it to that guy, he goes, no problem, I'll kick it right to that corner over there, and it'll bounce out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, apparently a lot of punters can't do that.
Yep.
So I think that he sucks in not being able to adjust to it. But at the same time, I think they told him, hey, don't kick it to Shaheed.
Yeah.
So that combination, which is okay with me, because he keeps shanking the punts and we get better and better field position.
For real.
Yeah.
Look, before the half, that guy punted the ball 28 yards, and that allowed the Saints to finish off the half with a field goal from Groupie. That made it 17-0 Saints. So yeah, man, like this is a good half of football here.
Yes. And Louisiana Shrimp came out there and tattooed it. It's like, man, this guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
So I always laugh when he comes out, when he starts hitting the helmet with people. It's like he's got to jump up to hit somebody's helmet because he's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And on the sideline, he looks like a middle schooler who's like, hey, I got tickets to be on the sideline.
Yep. So that brings us to halftime, and that will also bring up our favorite segment here.
Oh my God, it's gonna blow!
It's a Tomas rant.
That's right, I don't want to hear these facts.
Daddy, she's gonna blow!
I have opinions.
I got a nuke coming in. It's gonna blow in less than a minute.
Facts don't mean anything to me. My opinion overranks the fact, okay?
It's gonna blow up, it's gonna blow up.
And she will. It is a mathematical certainty.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your rant for today.
I love what you've done with the rant intro. That's fantastic. I really like it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, okay. So being serious now, here's my rant for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a damn thing we can do about it except rant about it.
Okay.
The officiating. Holy crap. I mean, first of all, tick-tacky calls of pass interference when it's like, dude, they're playing football, right? Okay, so there's one. Then the missing obvious calls. Like I said today, I probably could have thrown the flag 10 times against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for holding. They were holding in the middle. They were holding on the outside. It's like, I know you keep your hands in and they let that go. But, dude, you're talking about people like pushing and holding. Man, when your arm's outstretched, that's freaking holding, So, after last night's debacle with Detroit, right? Okay, because, we're big Detroit fans over here because lots of former Saints, right? Anzalone had a hell of a game, Campbell, great coaching, fake punt,
Right.
Aaron Glenn doing fantastic with young kids playing in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you blatantly miss.
Yeah. Terrible.
A 2-point. You got to be joking. So here we are in today's game, right? And I was texting a couple of people, and I was like, that guy on their 2-pointer, I was like, that guy stepped out of bounds. There's no doubt in my mind he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
And so they didn't throw a flag. They didn't call. Like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing. So explain to me, Dale, because I'm a little confused. Okay. So we've suddenly gone into this thing about, the passer has to be protected at all costs, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's the box. This is how I understand it. Maybe I'm just stupid. Okay. But, you have the tackles. That's the box, right? So if the quarterback runs outside of the box, he's suddenly a runner. That's my understanding.
Okay.
So here goes, and believe me, I love Baker. I wish we would have gotten Baker, but okay. So here's Baker. He rolls out, and now he's outside the box. He's way the hell outside the box, right? So he's eligible to run.
Mhm.
So what did you want Honey Badger to do? Did you want him to go tag your it? No. He said, I'm going to tattoo this guy. Boom, he tattoos him. Oh, penalty, roughing the passer. He's not a passer, he's a runner.
Mhm.
At least that's how I understand it.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm mistaken, right? But these freaking referees, they drive me absolutely. Now, we all know that Dallas won because they wanted Dallas to win, right? The Rams won because they want the Rams to win, right? I mean, we understand now their little script has kind of gone off because today Philadelphia got their ass beat again.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. New England sucks. Okay. So now they're like, oh, and the Giants suck and the Jets suck. And it's like, man, we have no East Coast team. Well, okay, too bad for you, right?
Mhm.
But for sure, they wanted to be San Francisco and the Rams, West Coast. They want Dallas, right? And now they're left with nothing else. So I don't know what else they're going to in the National League. Now, American League, different story. They'll still pick something out from the East, right? Baltimore, okay?
Right.
But this is all like, you got to be kidding me, Call the freaking game. Now, I saw somebody wrote, and I agree with them, that probably more than 70% of the fans don't follow like you and I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't really look at all the statistics. They don't look at. They're just there to be entertained, right? Bring me a beer, bring me a Jack and Coke, rah rah rah. Oh, they lost. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they won. Woohoo! Whereas I'm looking at it like, yeah, but let's have some. Let's have some. What's the word I'm trying to find?
Consistency with the refs.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Now I know, following all kinds of sports, right? You have some referee crews that call it closer, whether it's basketball or football or soccer, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have some that say, well, let's let them play. But just be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. These ticky-tack calls. This is not flag football. This is, we hit harder than this one. We used to play out in the mud at City Park.
Mm-hmm.
I was in high school and we go play football and, in City Park, and we tattoo somebody. We're not wearing helmets or anything, right? Yep. Somebody runs out to the outside, bang, we hit them hard. It's football.
Mm-hmm.
It's not tiddlywinks.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to get hit, go play tennis. I mean, Jesus God.
I'm with you. But
so
NFL.
There's my rant, brother. There's my rant. Chicken shit calls by referees that force a different outcome to the game. And when you're getting to the end of the season, man, we have to have a little bit better job.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, there's my rant.
Get yourself together, NFL, please. All right,
course, they could solve this. They just don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. They don't want to. Yeah. The Saints start off the second half with another groupie field goal that made it 20-0. Saints. Groupie was perfect on the day.
Yep. And my wife was yelling up and down on the sofa saying, let's close these MFers out.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, honey, take it easy, But she really wanted to have the shutout.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, me too, but I want them to score some more.
And I actually thought it was going to happen because late in the third quarter, I looked at the stats and the Bucks only had 68 yards passing.
Yep.
And
their run game wasn't working either.
Yeah. Exactly.
But see, this is why I say to you, Dale, this is why I hate that kind of defensive game plan. You say, oh, let's just keep everything in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, you've been playing great all freaking game.
Great, yeah.
And so just go in and continue playing that way. They got nothing. So don't give them nothing. Don't give them anything now.
I agree.
Okay, I got sidetracked on my rant because I got about the officiating. But that's, I have another part to my rant.
Okay.
Here's another part to my rant. I would like to stick my size 11 shoe up the butthole of Olsen. Okay.
The play-by-play. Man, I'm sorry. The color commentary. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the kind of game we were hoping for. Oh, now they're coming back. Oh, you know what? shut the hell up. Oh my God. Look, if you're not for the Saints, that's fine. Don't be for the Saints, but all this, his comments did nothing as far as I'm concerned. Right. But okay, let's go on.
Also in the third quarter, we saw Alvin Kamara leave with the ankle injury. So we'll see what happens with that. So let's get into the fourth quarter. We get an interception by Jonathan Abram.
Played a good game.
Yeah. This is somebody, the Saints he signed this offseason, and it was a former first round pick, a guy who, you consider to be washed up, but he maintains on the practice squad, and he comes in late and gets an interception in the fourth quarter. Looks good.
Well, I think that much like Honey Badger, I think that they're at the end of their career. I wouldn't say that they're washed up, but luckily, somebody who can say, man, go in there and play for a quarter, or go in, we can rotate you. He's not going to be the starter. Man, it was obvious that we're missing Lat, we're missing May, we're missing the rookie Holden, So safety became a real issue in this game. So I think he played a really fine game, along with a couple other people. JT Gray played for a while, which JT Gray always scares me because
that's the special teams,
special teams. He's a monster, but man, safety, But again, because we're looking at, Matthews at the end. He doesn't have the same wheels he had before. He's really smart. He knows everything that's happening in front of him, but it was tough. But Abram played a really good game, I thought.
Yep. The Bucs score a late touchdown with a throw to Palmer, and that made it 20-7 Saints. This is where the defense started. I don't know what the hell they started doing here. This wasn't the defense that was playing all game, though.
No. It's that, and they even said it during the show when they even showed the little telestrator, right? See how they have a shell back here? I'm like, yeah, that's the crappiest defense.
Right.
Man, don't play that,
But still, they letting Palmer get behind them. What the hell?
and that was another thing. It's like, hold on a second, man. Who's playing deep? Okay, so, one guy deep, one guy shallow. You don't let them get past you.
Yes. That whole defense is designed to not let somebody get by you.
Exactly. And then I'm watching this and I'm thinking, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't say that.
Oh my God.
So Saints get the ball back and they add another 3 to the score, and that made it 23-7 Saints.
Yeah, and again, that again we moved the ball pretty well. But see, I think that was when I was watching that drive, I thought, okay, see, they've lost it. They're just trying to play safely, rather than taking a chance and doing something. That was my opinion. But
Yep, I agree with that. So looking at the Saints turnovers, they were +4 on the day. We hadn't seen +4 in a minute.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, but I thought that the fumble recovery by Davis, I thought that was a great play to cause the fumble, and then DeMario did a great job in picking it up. So that one turnover I thought was really outstanding because they seem to be having something going on, and then suddenly, you cut them off at the knees. Yep. So, and then of course the LSU trader, when he hit the ground and nobody had touched him and the ball pops out.
Yes.
I was like, whoo-hoo!
Yeah. Palmer gets behind the defense, catches a long pass, but he fumbles and the Saints recover for a turnover. Again, what the hell is the defense doing? Letting the guy get behind you. But, good thing he fumbled and, we got
we got to give the devil his due. Palmer's got speed. I mean,
he's a speed demon, and that's what we expected to see at LSU, but that never worked out at LSU. And I assume once he left LSU, he was going to be, just a wash and everything. But he proved me wrong, and he looking pretty good.
Well, he went to Nebraska, and that's sort of like I don't know why he went to Nebraska. Didn't have anything that I
Yeah. He wanted to get on the field, and that's how he got on the field. He did his thing in Nebraska too. So
yeah. So
I gotta admit,
yeah. So I don't know, but I was happy that nobody touched him, so that the ground could cause the fumble.
Cause a fumble. Yep, exactly.
And again, we picked it up, and that was good.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, you're correct. I mean, 4 turnovers. We should win every game if we have 4 turnovers.
For real, man.
You know, if we're +4 every game, dude, we should be winning. You know.
So late in the game, we saw Baker connect with Godwin for a touchdown, and that made it 23-13 Saints. This is when we started having some official crap going on. It would call them penalties. There weren't penalties, or calling offsetting penalties, whatever it was, man. It worked out for the Saints because that 2-point conversion was no good. And the score remained 23-13. But that drive was only 2 plays, 54 yards. That was insane.
Well, I don't know what you want me to tell you about it. We've already talked about it, you know. First of all, and on the second try at their 2-point play, you know, when Adebo gets the ball and runs it out, and my wife's like, "Well, how come they get to kick it off? Don't we get the ball there?" I was like, "No, babe. You know, it basically is like blocking the kick.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you would have run out. I said, and if he runs it all the way back, it's not a touchdown. It's 2 points for us.
Yeah.
And because it's a safety. I said, so you know, that I think that took a little explaining for some people to understand, probably.
Yeah.
But again, when you play this crappy defense, and there's no need for it. It's not like, you know, we're getting beat to hell. You know, we don't have to play Tampa 2. We don't have to play this shell crap. Just play the defense that we have. We're damn good man on man. You know, so just play man. You know, and if they can beat you, well, then God bless them. You know,
too high, man. That's all you got to do.
That's it. You know, so
okay. Well, give me a player of the game, offense and defense.
Well, I think on offense you got to go with Johnson, the tight end.
Yeah,
I think you can't go with anybody else. I mean, he
Juwan
played
Johnson.
an outstanding game. Okay. Even though I'll say that I do have a second guy that I was looking at because I thought he came in at right tackle and did a great job.
Yeah, Cam Irving.
You know, I mean, I thought really, wow. You know, I was surprised at how good he did.
This is the second time we've seen that from him because he played another game where he had to start earlier in the year and he looked decent too.
Yep. Again, I think it's the same thing. I think if you can count on him for one game. You know, you can count him on a long sub in one game, you know, not as a starter. But in any case, I still go with Johnson. He had a hell of a game. And that one catch, man, where he extended, caught the tail of the ball, spun in the air.
Yes.
Man. Yes. So that's my guy on offense. On defense, I have to tell you, that was a little tough to decide who I was going to pick.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to go with DeMario. Because not only the recovery of the fumble, but that one play where he knew
he called out that screen.
Oh my gosh, what a great play on his part. I mean, he blew out to the outside, caught. I was like, yes, that's the guy who knows how to play defense, you know? So those would be my two players. What say you?
I'm with you. I'm definitely going with Juwan Johnson on offense because of the whole bounce back. Look, when he screwed up that game, the turnover, I wanted to cut his ass right then. Okay. And so on defense, I'm probably going to say Pete Werner, just because he was flying across the field. He always was in a picture and doing this thing. And I haven't really seen that much of him this season doing that. I thought he would take a step forward this season, but that hadn't happened. And so I'm glad to see what I saw from Pete Werner.
Yeah, I don't know. In watching the games, I mean, he seems to always, when he's playing and when he's healthy. Yeah, I think that he's always seems to be. The only thing is you can't expect a linebacker to keep up with one of their fastest receivers.
Yeah,
It's just
for sure.
no way that's going to happen. But I agree with you. I think Warner played a really good game today too.
Yeah, they played a lot of 4-3 in personnel to me, and not so much the big nickel like they usually do. So
yeah, because they played a lot of man at the beginning of the game. They played a lot of man. And like they didn't change over until the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, to that baloney shell crap. And I'm like, man, please. But yeah, I agree with you. And by the way, I was looking while we were talking. I pulled it up. We supposedly have 2 running backs on the practice squad. James Robinson.
Yeah. They just
and Jordan Mims. Those are the 2 guys we have.
Yeah.
Because, it's not that I agree with our good friend about the Tulane running back, but I can't count on Miller. That dude is like waste material to me. Now, being that one of my alma maters is Kentucky, man, I would love to have Davis, the running back from Kentucky, on our team next year.
Yeah, he looks good.
That dude can play, man. That dude can play.
He does good.
That would be a real winning situation with Kamara coming towards the end of what he can do. I mean, I think still Alvin takes such good shape of himself. He's still got easily 3 years left in his legs. But,
yeah, I honestly think if he ends up on another team, you're going to see something from him that we just hadn't seen in the past 2 or 3 years from him. I just think we're not using him correctly. So,
well, that goes back to why I said to you that we really need to change the entire offensive staff. Because, yes. And to think, I mean, the guy is racking up yards that are like, you don't see the yards that he's making because he gets tackled so many times because they're keying on him.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, he'll blow one for 10 yards, 9, 10, 11 yards. It just, again, as I say to my wife, she's like, Tomas, you can't blame Carr for everything. It's just bad coaching. Well, I agree with you. You can't replace a Hall of Famer with a guy who's just a good quarterback. I give Carr, he's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, certainly not a Hall of Famer, right? But the problem is, where are all those little screen dunk passes that Drew used to throw out to Alvin, right? They don't use that, right?
Yeah.
Today, I thought about you at the beginning of the game, Dale, because play action. Wow.
Yes.
There was play action on just about every damn play at the beginning of the game. And I was like, oh, okay. There you go. Even when Taysom was in, right? Taysom is like, here you go. Oh no, never mind. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
See, where has that been all season?
I'm telling you, it's frustrating just seeing that production on offense because we should have been doing it the whole season.
Yes.
Yes. I guess better late than never. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see, how we go forward.
Yeah, let's put together 2 games. Let's see that because I don't want to lose against the Falcons. So
no, sir. As I told my wife, for me, if we just win 4 games every year, I'm a happy guy. 2 Tampa Bays, 2 Atlantas.
That's right.
I'm good.
That's right.
We can be 4-13. I'm happy. I'll bitch about everything else, but I'll still say, well, we beat those stupid Falcons.
Right. That's right.
And the Yuccaneers. I'm good.
So,
we'll play them at home. So, maybe we haven't had home field all year, but maybe we'll have home field for the last game.
Okay, so prediction on how this thing is going to shake out.
I think they'll beat Atlanta.
Okay.
I think they'll beat Atlanta, and I think they'll beat Atlanta by at least 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think. Right now, if you ask me right now, I say yes. Now, let's see how the injury report comes back. Because I think that Johnson did hurt his shoulder, so we'll see how that comes up. And let's see how bad Alvin is hurt with his ankle. Because that could definitely affect the game. And let's find out where the hell Jimmy is.
Yeah. Right?
Because, again, in the red zone, you target Jimmy, you get a touchdown. So, and with Atlanta, again, it's the matchups, right? So I think we can do something because I think that the quarterback situation in Atlanta is not good. And
Okay.
I think it's to our benefit.
Do the Saints make the playoffs?
You know, the only way they make it is if they win the division. That's the only way they can make it because they have none of the other tiebreakers. So I would say no. I think they'll beat Atlanta, but I think that Tampa Bay, because we beat them today, I think Tampa Bay will say, well, we have to beat Carolina. And Carolina just doesn't. What does Carolina have?
They're terrible.
So unless Baker's really hurt,
but I didn't expect Arizona to beat Philadelphia today either. So, and the Cowboy fans can attest to that. They were not optimistic about that game.
Right. Well, and really, the Cowboys should have lost to Detroit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, so anything can happen. You know, who knows what the script says?
Yep.
You know.
That's it.
And neither Tampa nor Carolina are big market teams, you know, so it's not like they're going to say, oh, yeah, well, now, if anything, Atlanta's the biggest market of the bunch.
Yeah.
You know, but I really think we can beat Atlanta by if we played like we played today.
Yes.
You know, I think we beat Atlanta by 2 touchdowns.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So then it just depends. If by some miracle the Panthers can beat the Buccaneers and we win the division, and then all bets are off because, you know, who do we play? Do we come in, if we win the division, we're not number 7, we're not number 6, we're probably number 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's going to be number 4 at that point. So
yeah. So 4 plays 5, right? 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. So 4 plays 5.
Yeah.
So I think, who knows? You know, maybe we can win one game in the playoff.
There you go.
Let's be serious, okay?
Here we go. Here we go. It's that hope coming.
Yeah, but let's be serious, okay? I don't think we beat San Francisco. I don't think we beat Philadelphia. Hell, I don't think we beat Dallas. As much as I don't like Dallas, I mean, those 3 teams are a notch, at least a notch or 2 above us. It'd have to be some freak of nature for us to beat any one of those 3 teams. So.
We're trying to get that 16th pick, man. That's what we want. We want that 16th pick for some reason.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell you, hey, you all don't want to believe me, right? Okay, we are not picking a quarterback. I don't care. You know, Jesus could come down and walk on water. We're not picking a quarterback. Okay, and I really think, just based on what you see, if we get a whole new offensive coaching staff with a different philosophy, it makes perfect sense to draft an offensive lineman. You know, won't be a center because McCoy does his job and still got wheels. You know, but with Ramczyk's situation,
it have to be tackle. Yeah.
With Ramczyk's situation, I mean,
question marks at both tackles, so it's easy.
You know, it's one thing to be a running back and not have cartilage, okay, but you're talking about a guy who weighs 300 pounds, and I can tell you because I have a bad knee, and I weigh 235, and I can tell you, man, I need to get my weight back down to 220 because that knee is killing me. So, you know, when you have cartilage damage and you're a big offensive lineman, you're done. You know, so I don't expect Ramczyk, truthfully. I mean, unless there's some kind of miraculous surgery, I don't expect him to be back. I think he's done. I think he retires from the NFL.
Ooh, okay. That's the first time I heard that one. Okay.
Well, that's the same knee that he's had major surgery on already.
They've been
and
dealing
in
with
the
it.
interview, if you read his interview, he says to you, he barely has any cartilage left in that knee. And like I said, you know, it's one thing to be in a position where you don't have to put all that weight on, but you know, when you're a big guy playing, I mean, just ask Craig. You know, when you're playing offensive line and you have to push off on that leg and you don't have cartilage, ain't happening. You know. So that's why I think that the Saints will draft either. I really like the kid from Notre Dame, Alt. And then there's also a kid from Penn State who's pretty good. And then, of course, there's a kid from Alabama. I don't remember their names off that because I just
now we're talking.
What's that?
Now we're talking. Real school.
There are 3 kids at the top, that I can remember. Alt is the guy from Notre Dame because I've been following him.
Right.
And the other two, one's from Penn State. I don't remember his name. And the other one's Alabama. Those are the three top tackles in the draft as of right now. So I would expect the Saints to pick one of those three.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Because you know what's going to happen. You know, everybody's going to overrate the quarterbacks. And so you're going to have a lot of people at the top because there are teams that want Atlanta needs a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tampa Bay, I mean, they made a great choice with Baker, but you know, even though I think Baker's young enough to play three more years at least, you know, but they might say, well, we need a quarterback too.
Yeah, I could see them running it back with Baker and drafting a quarterback. So I mean,
and then of course you have Carolina, who's I'm sure saying, man, who do we get? You know, this little bitty guy who has no place to put muscles on his body. You know, I mean, because just looking at the Arizona game, right? I mean, this guy does not have the body of a Kyle Murray.
Yeah,
you know, he doesn't have the body of a Drew Brees was deceptive because you know he had muscles, he you know he had strength, and this kid the young, I don't think so. You know, I mean, you're surrounded. This is one of those things from Alabama too. When you're surrounded with all that talent, right? And suddenly, you know, people think a lot better. Oh man, this guy. The quarterback they had this year is much better, I think, than Young. Bigger, stronger, has a good arm. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they figure out, well, and who they're going to have for coach at Carolina, right?
Yeah, it's going to depend on that hire. So,
So there are teams that are looking, there'll be teams that will be looking for quarterback that have higher picks than we do. So it wouldn't surprise me if in the top 10, you know, 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, which would mean that the Saints would have a better choice at getting an offensive lineman because we'll be somewhere between 12 and 15 probably.
Yep.
You know? Now, I would say this, that if there was ever a year that the Saints would trade out of the first round, this would be the year.
Okay.
I'm going to make that prediction.
Okay.
This would be the year that, you know, got that big contract for Carr for next year.
It makes sense because we definitely need guys. So,
and as I understand it, right, we have Denver second, our first, but we don't have our second and we don't have our third. So we go 1, 2, and then 4 or 5. I think I don't know if we have a 4. So, you know, if there ever was a year for us to trade out, and you know, somebody says, "Oh, we got to have this guy," well, here we are. You know, and that would bode well because then it gives us another year. You know, and quarterback wise, I still want to see Haener play. You know, I still want to see what he's got.
Yeah,
you know, he might be a really good second string quarterback. You know,
possible.
You know, because I really think, as much as I like Jameis, I don't see him staying another year. You know, I see Jameis trying to find some place where he can start.
Yeah, I think that's what he should do.
We'll try so we have to have a backup, and I think Haener might be the guy who could be a good backup.
Yeah, you know? Maybe.
So there you go. I'm giving you some fuel for our draft talk as we go forward.
Yeah,
but I'm happy we won today. Good call, a well called game, a well played game. So let's do the same thing next week with Atlanta.
That's right. That's right. Do not lose the game to the Falcons. No, please don't. So once again, the Saints defeat the Bucks 23-13. And we go into this last week and we'll see what happens here. So you got anything else for us today, Tomas?
No, I'm gonna go now and check on my short ribs and see how close they are to being ready.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Be good eating there.
I'm ready to eat me some short ribs, and I'll let you know next week how the sous vide works.
Yeah. On
the tenderloin. Now, you know, the only toy I don't have at this point is a smoker. That's the only thing I don't have at this point.
You gotta get one of those.
So
come on.
My brother told me the same thing. He was like, "Dude, you have to get a smoker."
Yeah.
You know, and he's got one of those pellet smokers.
Cause what you could do, well, I don't advise the pellet one, but you can get a nice electric kind of charcoal one, and that'll get you where you need to go. You
I saw one.
Those short ribs out in that sous vide or whatever, and then you transfer it to the smoker, get the smoke. That's perfect.
Well, I saw an electric one at Sam's,
Mm-hmm.
and it was relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
So
I'll do it.
that might be enough. The problem is, I have a cart in the kitchen with all my toys on it, and so that smoke will have to go outside. It won't fit on the
Oh
cart.
yeah, it's going outside for sure.
So
Yeah.
that'll have to be next to the pit, next
Yeah.
to the grill.
There you go.
So, but yeah, my wife was like, "Man, do you have any more room on that cart? I mean, you have every damn toy on that cart." And I was like,
Mhm.
"That's why I have the cart."
there you go.
There you go. So I'll let you know. Hopefully it'll be good. So in closing, let me say this. I hope that everyone who watches our variety of podcasts that my dear friend Dale puts together, I hope everybody has a great new year, 2024. Be safe tonight, and remember, I know it's hard, especially because we're from New Orleans, but if you drink a little bit too much, for God's sake, don't get behind the wheel, right?
Yes.
No, don't do it, right? Enjoy yourself. Have a great time, have a good cigar for me,
Mhm.
and let's stay alive for next year.
That's right.
The Saints will come back, my friends. I guarantee it. So
That's right.
I'm wishing everyone a happy, safe, prosperous new year.
That's right. Happy New Year from everybody at BS and Beer Media. We will see you guys next week.
Later.
Remember to follow us on social media at BS and Beer Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.